You're planning on moving to Columbus, Ohio, or maybe you already live here and considering buying a condominium, but you've never lived in a condo and don't know if you're going to like it. Or maybe you're concerned it's not going to be a great investment or just having a hard time deciding. Well, you're in luck because in this video, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of buying a condo here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to talk about things like affordability, security, fees, amenities, HOA rules, and it all starts right now. So let's go! If you're new to my channel, my name is Mark Van Stein. I make videos about what it's like living in Columbus, Ohio. I talk about things like condo living, the best schools, areas, neighborhoods, and everything you need to know about living in Columbus. After you watch the video, if you found it helpful, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button down below. It just lets YouTube know that, hey, Mark's doing a good job. For more information about Columbus, make sure you subscribe because I'm making new videos about Columbus every week. Most importantly, if you are moving or relocating to Columbus, let me and my team assist you. I'm a licensed REMAX Realtor and have been helping people relocate to Central Ohio for over the last 18 years. So I know a little bit about real estate. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to reach out. I'd love to help. Well, on with the pros and cons of buying a condo. If you have any questions about what I cover in the video, just drop them in the comments down below and I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. I think I should first start by defining exactly what a condominium is and the difference between it and a fee simple property. First, we abbreviate the word condominium to just condo. It's just easier to say. We as realtors sometimes throw around these real estate terms and many people may not fully understand even what a condo is. A condo is an individual residential unit in a complex of properties. You own the space within the unit. The association, or HOA, owns the structure and the land on the property that it sits on. So you pretty much own from the stud to inward, and the association is responsible for the exterior. In a fee simple property, you typically own everything: the structure, the land, the building. It's much more simple. So let's start with the pros of owning a condo. Number one is affordability. Affordability is a huge advantage of condo living, and it's one of the reasons why many people choose to live in a condo instead of a single family home. High density living means that developers can build more units in a smaller amount of space, which makes condos more cost effective for both the developer and the buyer. In Columbus, there's a wide variety of condos to choose from, depending on where you're located. If you're living downtown, you might be in a low or high-rise building, whereas out in the suburbs, you might find condos with anywhere between 2 and 24 units attached per building. The size of the building and the number of units will affect the cost, but overall, condos are less expensive than single-family homes. When you think about it, it makes sense. A single-family home sits on a piece of land with its own utilities, walls, roof, basement, and so on. To build a single-family home, the developer has to cover all of these costs, plus the cost of the land. But with a condo, the developer can build several units on the same amount of space, sharing the cost of the walls, utilities, roofs, and so on. The developer can just build more assets on a smaller amount of space, and that's what it really boils down to. Secondly is the location. If you're interested in living in one of the Columbus's metro areas like the Short North, Greater Downtown, German Village, living in a condo can get you closer to the action. Check out my video on the 6 popular downtown neighborhoods to live in after this one. Whether you want to grab a bite to eat at a local restaurant, go shopping, or enjoy some of the entertainment, everything will just be a stone's throw away. For those of you who love to explore and experience new things, living in a condo in the heart of the city is a fantastic choice. There's always something going on, and you'll have the opportunity to participate in all of our festivals and activities as well. Whether you're into live music, art, checking out the Blue Jackets, or a Clippers game, you'll find plenty to keep you entertained. And living in the metro area, you'll be around some of the best restaurants in the city. In addition to all the excitement, living in a condo provides easy access to transportation and access to work. If you work in the city or you need to get around, you'll have a number of options available to you. Whether you choose to drive, take the Condo, which is our public bus transportation system, ride your bike in one of our new downtown bike lanes, or get out and walk, Getting around the downtown area will be easy, and you don't have to worry about fighting all that commuter traffic. Number 3 is security. Living in a condo can offer you a sense of security. When you're living in a high-density community, whether it be in the city or the suburbs, there's always going to be somebody nearby. Many modern-day condos come equipped with access systems at the front door, like a buzz-in system, keycard entry. These systems have become pretty sophisticated and allow for convenient access for friends, delivery people, or that Uber Eats driver at 1 o'clock in the morning. Even in more suburban communities, the fact that there's always somebody around adds an extra layer of comfort. Many clients tell me they feel less isolated or unsafe coming home late at night or when you're out of town for a few days. Knowing that there are always going to be people around, it can give you a little bit of peace of mind. It might help you feel more secure in your living space. Another aspect of security in a condo living is the structure of the building itself. Many modern condos are built with features like sprinkler systems, emergency lighting, and backup generators to ensure the safety of their homeowners. Plus, higher-end buildings may have security personnel or cameras monitoring the premises. These features can add a little bit more peace of mind if security is very important to you. Another great advantage of living in a condo is the abundance of amenities that come with it. In many communities, owners have access to all sorts of convenient features like swimming pools, workout rooms, theater rooms, coffee shops, party areas, and lots more. I've seen some pretty impressive high-end amenities in some of these communities. Having all these amenities readily available is a huge perk for anyone looking for that social and active lifestyle. Imagine being able to take a dip in the pool, hit the gym for a workout, and then relax in a theater room, all without having to leave your own community. It's like having your own personal playground right at your doorstep. Plus, you don't have to worry about paying for that gym membership or navigating going to the movies. The amenities are all included in your HOA fee. HOA fees are an important consideration when it comes to living in a condo. These fees help cover the cost of maintaining the structure and upgrading the community. It might be more cost effective than paying for all these things individually. Instead of paying for a gym membership and a pool membership and so on, all these amenities are bundled into your HOA fees, making it easier to budget your monthly expenses. Another great aspect of condo amenities is the social interaction. Many communities offer events and activities for owners like pool parties and movie nights and fitness classes. These events not only provide a fun and enjoyable way to spend your time, but they also provide a great opportunity to know your neighbors and build a little bit of sense of community. Lastly, there is no exterior maintenance to worry about. This means you can spend your weekends doing what you love instead of spending hours in the yard or fixing broken fixtures. No more worrying about keeping up with the exterior of your property because the homeowners association takes care of it all for you. If you have ever owned a house, you know that exterior maintenance can be a hassle. It's not your thing, but when you live in a condo, you don't have to worry about it. The homeowners association is responsible for everything, maintaining the exterior of the building and the land it sits on. This means you can sit back and relax and enjoy the weekends, knowing that everything is taken care of for you. Well, those are some of the pros of condo living. If you made it this far in the video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you need assistance purchasing a property, remember, my team and I are here to help any way that we can. You can call, text, email us, however you want to reach out. Now, let's break down the cons of condo living. You knew it wasn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows, right? Con number 1 is the type of ownership. When you own a condo, you don't actually own the land or the building. This can be a major issue with some people, especially if you like things done a certain way. As I mentioned earlier, when you buy a condo, you own the space in the unit itself, but not the land and building. Those are owned and maintained by the homeowners association. And this means that you have limited control over what happens outside your unit, like landscaping or exterior maintenance. If you enjoy gardening or making improvements to your property, this can be a big disadvantage. Also, changes to the building or property need to be approved by the HOA. Have you been watching HGTV and want to paint your front door blue? You might not be able to unless the HOA approves it. I showed a condo to a client of mine last week. When we were out walking around the exterior, I noticed some of the brick wall had begun to crack. It needed to be repaired. But the reality is HOA boards are reluctant to spend money on repairs they don't deem necessary, or if the repair is more of a cosmetic nature. There is a budget set every year for repairs, and most HOAs don't want to deviate from that. So unless that crack was causing additional damage to the interior or might get worse over time, it's probably going to go on the maintenance back burner. Even though you're not personally responsible for the exterior, it comes out of the HOA fees. The HOA has to budget repairs. So even if the repair is important to you, the association just may not deem it necessary. It's super important to understand exactly what you are responsible for or own and what the homeowners association is responsible for. Every community is going to be a little bit different. Usually owners are responsible for things like patios, front stoops, garage doors, windows. But again, it's important to understand exactly what you own and are responsible for and what the HOA is responsible for maintaining. Con number 2 is parking or lack of parking, which is a common issue that many condo communities face, especially down in the metro areas. In some cases, you may not have an assigned or covered parking spot at all, which can be a real bummer. This means you might have to park out on an open street or in a lot, which can be a real challenge, especially where parking is hard to find. Now, if you're looking at a condo in the suburbs, it's going to be a little bit different. Many of the newer builds come with attached garages or areas in the driveway where you can park. But often there may be limited guest parking. I mean, just a few spaces per street. This can be a problem if you like to have friends or family over and you have to park literally a few blocks away just to get to your unit. Next is storage, which can be a real issue when you own a condo. If you're someone who has a lot of stuff and a pack rat like me, I can't throw anything away, you might have some issues. This can be especially true if you are downsizing from a house into a condo. Condos are often smaller than houses, so there's simply less room for storage. Closets and cabinets are smaller. There's a good chance there may not be a basement. This can be a problem if you have a lot of items that you need to store. Think about things like seasonal decor, sports equipment, or extra furniture. Also, if you're living in a mid or high-rise condo, it's going to have a shared common area like a hallway and stairways and elevators. This means things like storing bikes and luggage. You have to do that all in your unit. If you can't just bear to part with some of your stuff, there's always going to be alternatives. One is to look for a building that has extra storage options like a storage unit or an additional closet. Many of the newer built condos in the suburbs without basements actually have an attic storage pull down with stairs. Some condos also have bike storage or shared storage rooms where you can keep larger items. If those options aren't available, you might have to get a little bit creative with your storage solutions. When I lived in New York City, I had this tiny little one-bedroom apartment in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. The guy who owned the laundromat on the ground floor cut out 3 little small apartments in the 2 floors above his business. What he didn't do is build any closets or storage space. I mean, nothing. I had to get really creative about my storage. Can you imagine living somewhere without any closets or storage? I mean, I got really good at being a minimalist. Next is the homeowners association, or HOA, which to some people is a dirty little word. When you own a condo, you'll be part of a community that is governed by the HOA. You'll need to abide by their rules and regulations. While these rules are in place to keep the community running smoothly and maintain property values, they can sometimes feel like they're a little bit restrictive. One of the main issues people have with HOAs is that they can be strict and specific. For example, you'll have restrictions on what you can do with the exterior of your condo, like what color you can paint your door, or whether you can hang a flag or have plants outside. You might also have restrictions on what you can do on the inside, whether you can have a pet, or what type of pet, or how many people can live in the unit. Along with the rules, HOA fees can be high. These fees are used to pay for maintenance and repairs as well as to cover administrative costs. The fees can add up, especially if the HOA is making major repairs or renovations or just isn't run that well. The fees can be hundreds, even thousands of dollars per month. And sometimes you run the risk of having a special assessment. Sometimes the HOAs are just a pain to deal with. There is always going to be one person on the board or in the community who thinks it's their job to police every action and violation, no matter how minor. And if there's a repair that needs to be done, HOA boards will drag their feet until it becomes a bigger issue. Well, Mark, HOAs sound really awful, so how can I possibly deal with them? I always recommend to my clients that you get involved. Attend meetings, ask questions, get to know the other members of the community, and get on the board itself. With any specific rule, try to understand the reasoning behind it, and then see if there's a way to change it. You also want to make sure not only is the board being run well, but is also fiscally sound. Lastly is going to be resale. When it comes to resale, condos can be a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, they can be an affordable way to get into the housing market, especially if you're looking to buy in an urban area where single-family homes are super expensive. On the other hand, condos can be harder to resell than your typical home, and they can sometimes go for a lot less than you might expect. When I sell a property and try to evaluate it, I look for comparable sales or comps. Condos are by far the easiest to comp because all the units are going to be similar. They're all built by the same builder around the same time with probably just a handful of floor plans. You can really find the price breaks on each floor plan. The 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath are selling at this price point. The 3 bedrooms are selling at this price point, etc. Part of the problem becomes that every year, on average, in a community, it's going to turn about 5 to 7% of its units. So if you're trying to sell a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit, and there are 3 others like yours just for sale in the community, you get to price your unit against the others. Sometimes the only way to get yours sold is to undercut everybody else's price. And it only really takes one seller to destroy the market. Well, these are some of the pros and cons of owning a condo in Columbus, Ohio. It's important to consider and understand all of these before you think about purchasing one. As I mentioned at the start of the video, you don't have to go through it alone. Let me and my team help. Just give me a call, we can have a short conversation. If you think I can help, then great. If not, that's okay too. At least maybe I can point you in the right direction. It's so very important that when you buy a property, you have a trusted fiduciary, somebody who's going to really look out after your best interest and not just try to sell you something. If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. If you're interested in knowing more about Columbus and its suburbs, check out some of the other videos on this channel and make sure you subscribe because I'm making new videos every week. Until next time.